If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
WNST, Taos in Baltimore, and WNST.net. We're at Rooskus in Pikesville for the bone marrow registry. For There Goes My Hero. We're swabbing. We're hanging out with Joe Flacco. I say this, and I know you don't listen to the show, and I wrote a book that you still haven't read, because guys from Delaware don't read books, I guess, other than play books. I don't know. At some point, you'll like the book. Your kids will like the book. It has a happy ending, I assure you. But, I tell people all the time, you're my favorite all-time Baltimore athlete, and that does not come without... I've been doing this 32 years, okay? So I'm not, and there have been plenty of athletes I don't like. And, in different ways. I can't even put my finger on why I like you, but the thing I really like is that you haven't changed at all. I mean, money, fame, so you're just still, there's been very little change in you. What has changed? His hair's
more stylish now.
Yeah, you've had some sort of makeover emergency. I don't know what that is. You look good. It's a little Jim Palmer from over here, which, that's high praise. Palmer's my other favorite athlete, so that's fine. But what has changed for you in your life? At this point, you're obviously very comfortable,
A wife and kids.
Well, I remember
when you first met me.
You drove up to my house in the most beat-up Volvo. It had diesel fuel burning out of the back of it, and it had those old Pennsylvania plates.
I just didn't have a car yet. It was just a car that was kind of like somebody in my family had, and it was just.
It was good enough.
It
got you there.
I just got drafted. I didn't have any money. I just got picked.
But from that to here and seeing the contracts, and the fans know how much money you make and all that, they go, oh, he must be doing this, and he must have gold-plated bathrooms and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I've been to Joe's house. It kind of looks like your house. They're really not different. And I know you live in the same neighborhood. Your family's close. Has anything materially changed other than you can afford to buy what you want and give your kids some nice things, but it doesn't seem like you're ready to go build the Taj Mahal for yourself in any way in your life.
I have a nice house here, and I have a nice house in New Jersey, and obviously you can have all that stuff, but there's so many more things that I'm doing in my life. Football's still right up there, and with my family, and I think having kids changes you for the better, and just makes you aware of so many different things, and kind of brings you back to the things that you used to do as a kid, and
keeps you busy for sure, right?
You kind of start to understand what your parents were going through and what they were talking about when they told you something, and it's just I think being a father definitely puts things in perspective, and I don't know, it puts you. It just grounds you, puts you at ease. It's just something about it that kind of brings everything together and makes you better. Really, I don't know. I don't know.
That's interesting. You'd say the thing that made you better. I just asked you what's changed in 8 years. You're like, well, I'm better because I got kids now. That's not everybody would look at it that way. Certainly not everybody in the NFL that's made money. They have different things they want to do with their lives other than go home and be with their kids, which is what you do.
Yeah, I want to go play golf. And I don't want my wife to give me a hard time about it, but that's not always reality. I get home and my kids were not being very good, so
Do you lay down the law? Can you be the disciplinarian?
Hey, not everybody may believe this, but I lay down the law, man. Oh yeah.
The jersey comes out?
Yeah, I don't want to tell you what guys I do. I might get arrested. I can't, No, it's a lot of fun, but I got to tell you, I realize now, when my dad got home from work, he didn't want to walk up the stairs and spank my ass, but my mom gave him so much crap when he walked in the door. They did this, they did that, they did this. He finally got so pissed at her, he walked upstairs and he spanked our ass, It's the same thing that I get at my house. I'm sitting on the friggin' couch, and those guys are up there in bed together acting up and thinking it's a party for an hour and a half before they finally fall asleep, and my wife's up in my ear, go up there, put them to bed, what are you doing? Make sure they're not jumping around, do this, do that. Oh my God, all right, I will go. And then you go upstairs and you stomp up the stairs and you hope that it scares them a little bit, and you walk in there, you bust through the door, and you do what has to be done, and then you don't hear from them the rest of the night. But I didn't necessarily want to take it out on them. I didn't want to do anything to them, but just kind of what you have to do, because your wife gets you worked up, and the kids are and end up taking them up the worst.
Forget about the Steelers or the Bengals. Just tell Joe that it's bedtime for the boys. That's how you get under his skin.
Yeah, I mean, my oldest son is actually pretty stubborn, man. He doesn't get how to just like act like he doesn't get how to just cry. You know, just like I'm hurt, Dad. You got me. You know, my middle son, like, I mean, oh my God, you know, he's the biggest baby in the world. You know, I stomp up the stairs and he's already crying. You know, but my oldest son, like, he's like,
fearless.
You know, he thinks I'm joking sometimes. You know, I'm like, I'm not joking with you right now. Like, this is not funny. Okay.
I wouldn't want to babysit these kids. You have not. You've done nothing to make me want to be Uncle Nestor.
I'll tell you what. You don't want to. You don't want to. But the only people that do babysit them are my parents for the most part, my wife's parents. And that's not good.
How does that work?
That's grandparents. Oh, I want donuts, Grandpa. Okay, here you go. Here's 6 donuts for one kid. You know, here's 6 more over here. Well, I mean, you know, when we get back, you know, I don't have any problem leaving them with my parents. You know, hey, Mom, we're going away. You know, you mind watching the kids?
Have at them, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. But she literally is exhausted by the end of a couple days if we leave them for a couple days or a night, whatever it may be. She's exhausted because she literally runs around the house like, oh, you want this? Oh, what do you want? It's just so exhausting. They want everything.
Yeah, they're 1, 2, and 3. I'm exhausted hearing about it.
They want everything, you know? So what do they get when they're with my parents and they're with my wife's parents? They get everything. So then when we come home, it's, you know, it's a week period just trying to break them back into reality.
I'm sorry, man. We'll let you go play football soon. Does that be good?
I tell you what, man, I never would have, you know, like, never would I have thought, you know, I could love football any more than I actually do now. But then you have a couple kids and you realize how awesome work is.
Football used to be what you do.
Even when you're rehabbing a knee, right?
Even when you're rehabbing a knee. You know, they put the basketball hoop down in the back, and you know, I was making sure I killed 45 minutes playing horse. I was, no, I didn't play today. I was just, I had to do a couple extra reps in my rehab. You know, really, I was just back there shooting foul shots.
Yeah, football used to be what you do. Now it's where you go. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Flacco here. We're at Roost Chris and Pikes School. For there goes my hero. All right, so we're gonna get football in. Luke is in charge of all football questioning. So. This is all you. This is all you. Fire away. You got your notes there, and I can't read your hand.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned it because right about now, you guys are back in the building, or the whole team's back in the building, voluntary workout program, and you're getting close to the point where now the football stuff is going to start. OTAs are going to start the next couple weeks. Are you itching to get beyond the knee rehab part and to get back on the field? I mean, you just mentioned how much you appreciate the game because of your sons, but you have to miss it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I definitely miss it. That's why I'm doing all this, so I can get back as quickly as possible. I think I am so caught up in what I'm doing right now that I don't think about that stuff too much. But like right now, I'll be in the weight room doing my rehab, and everybody's on the field running, like doing their conditioning for the day. And I do find myself like opening the door to the weight room and looking out into the field house and watching them run. Now, I'm not like jealous that they're out there running and dying. You know, I really don't want to be doing that. But at the same time, like I do miss. I obviously miss something about being out there with everybody. It's just it's good to be out there with the guys and just going through it together.
Well, there's nothing normal about what you're doing. That's not normal to you.
Yeah.
Normal to you is being out there running
exactly.
around, right?
Yeah, as bad as it may be, it's normal to be out there, and it's something good about it.
Pleased with the offseason so far? I mean, some new weapons. Ben Watson comes in, another tight end to add to the mix. And, it's funny. I remember locker clean-out day when after the season wrapped up, we had a chance to talk to you, and I asked you about speed in the passing game. And, you gave a diplomatic answer. You said, yeah, some speed could help us, but I'm not saying we need that. But then I remember you threw out there saying, well, you see what Pittsburgh has, and that helps. Sure enough, a few months later, Ozzie Newsome brings in a former Steeler and Mike Wallace.
We get a Pittsburgh guy. I'm excited about it. I think Mike's going to be a huge asset for us. I think he's going to be able to do a lot of things. Obviously, his speed is going to create a lot of things, but I think he's a good wide receiver, and I think he can do a lot for us. And I'm excited to kind of get out there and work with him for a little bit and get used to what he's doing and seeing how far I can throw it before he can outrun my arm. I'm sure he can outrun my arm, which is a good thing. I'll have to get rid of it early and just let him go get it.
For you with this offseason and trying to get the team better, Perryman's obviously as big a part of this. I'm sure you were excited about that last year this time, and you were healthy, and he was coming in, and he was healthy. And he's a big mystery to everybody here. Because we're going to talk about the draft this week, and whoever we draft these players, it almost feels like sort of a bonus #1 pick that we haven't sort of unhatched in any way. Any thoughts on Brashad Perriman? I mean, you clearly know him a little better than we do. We haven't got to know him at all.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about him. I mean, even with me, it was only really the off-season stuff. I mean, he really wasn't part of training camp for too long. So, or when did he even get here? I think it was training camp.
First weekend.
First full squad.
But you haven't thrown in many passes at all. Right?
No, I did during the off-season, and I'm excited about him, man. I think he's a talented kid, and he obviously needs to get out there and get the experience. And that's the biggest thing is, we because of the injury ended up missing his whole rookie year, and just getting that playing time under his belt and learning all the things that you end up learning that first year. And so obviously there's going to be some growing period there, but I think he's going to be a very talented wide receiver and help us out a ton.
Continuity with the offensive coordinators, you haven't had a whole lot of that. And I've portrayed this, and when people ask me about it, and I don't take phone calls anymore, but it does come up in conversations about, let's just go through it. I mean, Cameron, Hughes, Zorn, we can go through all the names through the years you've been here. I've said to people, I think you really kind of enjoy this and see it as part of, well, if I'm going to be a quarterback in the league 15 years, I'm going to have this many quarterback coaches, this many offensive coordinators. It's not a marriage made forever. You've adjusted to that, and you've been, other than when some personal things happen and some guys left that you did like, you have at least embraced the notion of change and a changing playbook and new philosophies. And you've had to, but you haven't fought it so much.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you're not totally ecstatic about everything, you have to, you have to go into work with a positive mind every day and look at it as a positive situation and find the good in it. So, I wouldn't say that I've probably always been pumped about it, but it's just the way it is. That's the way this league is. Players move on, coaches move on, and so you have to be ready as a player to adapt to those kind of things. And I think I've learned a lot of football because of it and become better because of it.
Does it put your mind at ease knowing that you have the same coordinator 2 years in a row, with the understanding that you're not going to be on the field, at least in the spring? You're hoping to be back for training camp, but I'd have to imagine if it was another new coordinator coming in and not having as much field time for you, that'd probably be on your mind a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And it's nice to be able to sit in meetings right now and be bored a little bit because you know what's going on, not have to sit there and grind away, just take notes, but at the same time, you already have the basic idea of what's going on. So if we change a thing here and there, you pick it up like that and you forget about it. So it's definitely nice for a change over the last couple of years to be able to go into those things and have the same plays up on the board.
So today we played Pittsburgh, Christmas weekend. My wife was back in the hospital at that point. I had tickets for the game. I had promised Thomas Dolby, the guy that wrote She Blinded Me with Science, musician. He'd never been to a football game. I said, I'll take you to a game. I had tickets, and my wife couldn't go, obviously. So I took him down there, and I spent the whole morning, much like the first time I met you and your father, giving you a little Baltimore history. You asked me where 33rd Street was, and this and that. I was trying to give him all that. He's a soccer fan. And I said, there's no chance we can win the football game today. They're going to the playoffs. Our quarterback's in a foot cast. Our wide receiver's gone. Our rush end's gone. We're not going to win. It's a little bit of like a preseason game. And then Ryan Mallett wins the game. And I sat up there and I watched it. I marvel at that a guy like that. Do you marvel at that, knowing that what it would be like if you had to go and run the Lions offense a week and a half from now and actually go out there? You can clearly play football at this level, but not knowing the plays, not knowing the playbook. I think that is just a miraculous thing he pulled off. He must be a pretty special guy as well, and a guy you're going to work with.
No doubt. I think you can't underestimate things that can happen in this league because everybody has the talent. And there's little things that separate guys, but everybody in this league is very talented. So at any given day, you can go out there and you can play and you can beat anybody. I don't care what your record is and what their record is and what you've gone through all year. We're all here for a reason, and a lot of times the guys that were playing at the end of the year there for us, they had a lot to prove. It was an awesome opportunity for a lot of them, and it was a great time to go out there and make the most of it and prove that you can be, not just a player on this team for that year.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.